And action. Welcome to a special edition of the Action Podcast. We were going to review a couple of the movies, and then we really just didn't like the selection. We're kind of in the doldrums of January, and you're starting to see the effects of, not a lot of movies being made. And so we were like, you know what? Let's go ahead and knock out our Oscar review movie show and go from there. We'll talk about our favorite movies of 2025 or 2024, excuse me, because they're definitely different than the Best Picture list. So, with that, Pete, let's get into our favorite movies, and then we'll get into the Oscar list. But we'll do our top 10. We'll just do a little round robin. So you do 10, I do 10, 9, 9, and so on.
Sounds good. My number 10, I remember loving this movie a lot, but I don't remember a ton about it, and I wanted to give it some love. I'm going to say The Arcadian. I
Nice.
think that this was the year of Chalamet and Nick Cage, and I remember early on
Well,
in
last year was Nicolas Cage.
2024. There were several 2024 movies with Nick
Oh,
Cage that were really good.
yeah, that's right. He did another one too. But 20
So
23 is he was already.
I remember loving it. And I just loved the originality of it, and I loved Nick Cage was in a movie like that and did so well. So number 10, Arcadian.
I like that, Pete. That was definitely a movie in consideration for myself. Um, and I'm gonna do the classic, and you hate this, but only because I want to knock off a category.
Don't
Uh,
do a slash.
I'm gonna do a slash. I have to. I have to. So I want to do Netflix. Netflix is Old Dads. That was directed by Bill Burr. It was probably one of my more favorite comedies of the year. Definitely up there. But I thought he did a fantastic job directing. I've watched it multiple times. It's a movie I will continue to watch, and I just really liked Bill Burr in that role as well. It really just fit him, and so I wanted to include that. And then I'm also going to include this one because I think this one should actually be nominated for Best Picture. But this was Sing Sing. I had seen a sneak preview of this one, and I just thought it was a great story. Coleman Domingo's nominated for Best Actor, which I thought at the same time. Go check that episode out if you want to see my prediction there. But I just thought this movie was really well done. And I had to put it on my list, and so I have it at number 10. And then my number 9, this movie actually had a lot of Oscar buzz when it first came out, but the problem is it came out, I believe, in March. And so, and this was a movie that came out, and everyone wondered if this was real or whatever, but it was actually made by a British director, and it was actually supposed to be kind of open-ended, so you're not supposed to think one way or the other. But it was Civil War, and I really thought that movie worked a lot. I liked it more the second time I saw it. I think the first time it was like, okay. And I watched it again. I kind of started to understand the more nuances of it. And obviously, like me being a photographer, and knowing, kind of having that journalistic aspect to it. I just really understood the role very well. And so I really liked what they did there. And so that is my number 9.
I enjoyed that one as well. I forgot about Civil War, but it wouldn't have made my top 10 either way. My number 9, this was my favorite family film of the year. Is it really on everyone's top 10 list? Probably not. I'm probably the only one to do it, but I thought I would give it some love because I watched it and I was incredibly inspired by it, and I thought it was fantastically done, which was Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Wow.
Uh, one of the best family films I've ever seen, and I am still trying to get my family to watch it, and they just won't listen to. They
The
won't
best
listen to my
family
top 10.
film, the best family film that your family hasn't seen. That's a new category. New
It's
category.
clever. I know it's based on a book, but I thought that what they did, the book is like 5 pages long, and it's like they were able to create an entire movie that you could really do a lot with. And the guy who plays Harold, um, the guy who was also in Shazam, I forget his name, but
Zachary Levi.
thank you. He
Also
is
like Kurt
so
Warner.
great. He's so great in this movie. Very childlike. Reminded me a lot of Tom Hanks in Big, how he was able to portray a child. He's very innocent and childlike, but he's so emotional in it that you really do feel everything that he's going through. It's fantastic.
Nice. What do you got for 8?
Number eight is my other Nick Cage movie. It's not a fantastic movie by any stretch, but his performance I thought was really great as Longlegs. I thought it was
Yeah.
probably it's my second favorite sort of thriller movie of the year. But I thought that, I mean, it was just so overly hyped before it came out. It didn't really stand a chance. But if you can just take the hype away and look at Nick Cage and what he did, well, what a weird dude. And
Yeah.
he just really came across as somebody that if you met, you would be frightened for your life.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah, I thought that was a good movie as well. He was incredible in that.
Slim
Uh,
Pickens this year, by the way. Slim Pickens for a
Definitely
top
not as hard as it was last year. That's definitely something I
last
could
year
go.
was awesome.
Yeah. So I also went with a family film for number eight. And this was probably my favorite family film of the year, but it was If. And I really connected with this movie. John Krasinski directed it. I thought he did a fantastic job. I thought Ryan Reynolds was really amazing in this, as well as the score of Michael Giacchino was just absolutely incredible. And I think it really elevated the movie to another level. And yeah, it this movie probably made me the most emotional out of all the movies of the year. So that's gonna be my number eight. And my number seven, this was probably my sneaky surprise movie of the year. But I watched this movie several times. I even purchased it because I just loved every single time I watched it. But it was The Fall Guy, and I thought Ryan Gosling crushed it. Emily Blunt was also excellent in this, and I loved how they're poking fun uh, about movie making and also part of the process. And there's just a lot of classic scenes from this movie, and it's a movie I could put on at any time and love it. So that's my number seven.
Not bad. My number seven is my sneaky movie of the year that nobody ever heard about until it came out. And then I don't even think anybody saw it, but I was blown away by this movie and I thought it was fantastic. It's Fly Me to the Moon. That movie just shocked me on how good it was because the trailer that I saw for it, it looked like just some silly romantic comedy that was ridiculous, but it ended up being like a fantastic movie about the space shuttle or
Yeah.
the landing on the moon and the behind the scenes. And Woody Harrelson was fantastic in it. That was one of my favorite movies to watch. I enjoyed every second of it and was blown away by it.
Yeah.
That was my number seven. My number six. Almost begrudgingly, I put One Love on it. You know, it was
Oh,
very good. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you really do with Bob Marley's life and make it like your number one film of the year? But it does need to be acknowledged as they did as a great a job as they could have done with a legendary person. I mean, in Bob Marley's life his influence is really more of the story versus his actual life itself. But like, how do you encapsulate all of that into one
yeah.
film? I thought the guy who played Bob Marley was really quite good. I know that the family signed off on it.
Yeah.
Very good. Loved it.
Yeah. I would have loved to have put that on my list. It did not make it. That hurt. Just correct. Uh, Always something special here at the Action
Jeez.
Podcast.
Yeah, what the hell is going on over there?
Dude, it felt like it broke. It was like it hurt so bad.
Felt like what broke?
My knee.
Oh, your knee. What are you doing to your knee right now?
Nothing. I just like I moved and it just like my knee cracked.
Dude, getting old sucks.
That hurt so bad. All right. All right. This is gonna be a shocker,
You're number
and
six, right?
I'm on number six. Yeah. This is probably my biggest shocker, only because of how low it is. And I mean, it's nominated for Best Picture. I think it might win Best Picture. And in a lot of different worlds, I would probably put it up there, but I don't think I overall love the movie as much as I just enjoy these other movies. But it's a complete unknown. And again, I know it's kind of low, but I want
Six.
more. I just want just listen. I want more entertainment factor. Like how many times I'm going to watch these movies. These are like my favorite films. Not, but these aren't like my top 10 best pictures. This is just more of like my favorite films. And I'm just, you know what? I think the movie craft wise is perfect in so many ways. I think it's a great film. And film wise, I think it's higher than almost damn near all of the movies ahead. It'd probably be my top three if I'm just judging movies in terms of filmmaking. But
And
I'm
if
just
you
not
pick
Bob
your
Dylan.
top three, then
I'm not a Bob Dylan. Hey,
you've got this weird thing where it's like, how many times am I going to watch this movie? And that makes it on my list. Okay,
well, all these movies ahead, I really like, but
great.
um, yeah, but that's my number six. So again, and it's a little bit of an upset alert. I know I could make it lower, but I just went with gut instinct on this one. And then my number five is it's a sequel to one of my favorite films of all time, and it's Twisters. And I really loved Glenn
Love,
Powell. I'm telling you, I'm gonna watch Twisters a million more times than I will A Complete Unknown. I mean, I like Ray more than I like A Complete Unknown. I said this. I'm just not a like Bob Dylan doesn't move the needle for me. So it's just it doesn't it doesn't mean as much. I
I
think
would
the
think,
film
I would
itself is
think, I would
beautiful.
think great filmmaking and performances would move you as a.
It does. But again, I'm also like I said, I'm adding entertainment factor as well, and I really love Twisters. I love, you know, I lived out in the Midwest, so it's just it strikes me a little bit more. So I'm gonna go Twisters. A couple good songs from it too. Good
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Uh, okay. Well, I mean, either way, my number five is the best thriller of the year in my book, and it's Heretic
Really?
with Hugh Grant. I thought that he was just, I mean, you want to talk about creepy, but also amazing at the same time. Like his performance was one of the best I've seen all year. Um, he almost plays like what you would, the stereotypical Hugh Grant character, but then you throw in a Nick Cage long legs kind of, you
Yeah.
know, craziness to him. And I thought it was very intense. Last year it wouldn't have even made my top 10 list, but listen, I can only do what I can do. So yeah, that's my number five. My number four is an epic that is going to have another sequel, and I can't wait for that sequel. So I'm putting it on my top 10 list this year because I know that the next one is going to make it even better, and that's Horizon.
Nice.
I thought that, you know, a lot of people can't sit through a very long-winded, slow burn of a Western. I can do it all day. And you throw Kevin Costner in, even if it's limited Kevin Costner, I'll
Yeah.
take it all day long. I thought
I didn't think it was as much of a slow burn though. Like I thought it really actually moves pretty well. Again, I've watched it probably
I'd have
five
to see it a
times.
second time.
I've watched it like five times now, and I think it actually moves pretty decent because there's so many different stories, and so once you
Right.
kind of understand what it's doing, I feel again I think this is it's like fine wine, like it gets better the more you watch it. And
Number four.
so the second one I just found out, Pete. So the second one already premiered worldwide in Venice, the Venice Film Festival, overseas. But it's going to be playing at the Santa Barbara Film Festival in a few weeks. I don't know if you're interested, but I might go head up there to go watch that. So
Mhm.
that's how much I'm also a fan of the Horizon series. I want to see part two. So I might go up and check that out. I'm gonna try and make that happen. So so yeah, so my number four, another sequel that surprisingly I almost like it more than its predecessors. I never thought I would say that because I love its predecessors, but it's Bad Boy Ride or Die. I really like what they did with this fourth one. I thought it just had, I just thought it worked so well. The music, the cinematography. Yeah, I love them. I mean, I bought it. I watched it. I watched it over five times. Like I thought it was funny. I thought this was Martin Lawrence's funniest bad boy out of all of
He
them.
was great.
I thought
Martin
he,
Lawrence was fantastic in this.
yeah, I thought his character and how old he is and fat and all that good stuff, like it all worked well in this one, and he embraced it more. And like we talked about it in the original thing in the original podcast, but I just thought that this one where they're at and with everything, it worked. And this was Will Smith's comeback movie. this showed that he still is a superstar, and
The incident.
yeah, so I just love this movie on so many different levels, and so that's my number four. My number three, and this could easily have been number one. This might be the most entertaining movie of the year. Probably also maybe the funniest movie of the year as well. But it's Deadpool and Wolverine. I just think what they did this, they call it,
Oh,
the Marvel Jesus, and I thought
forgot
this.
about Deadpool and Wolverine. That's on my top 10. That's top five
Yeah, I know that's gonna ruin it. If you forgot it, it's gonna ruin
on
your
it.
whole. It's all right. We had to do these lists kind of quickly, guys. We had to pivot. So I'm gonna give Pete the I'm gonna give you a reprieve. So just tell me where you would stick it when you're done with it. But
That's 3A or 3B
okay,
for me.
all right, that works. Um, See, now you get a slash at 10
Get a
now.
slash.
Now you get your slash. See, we're equal.
Did I ever tell you I really love when we do slashes?
I know. But yeah, I think that movie is hilarious. I saw it a few times. I loved how they brought back so many of the old Fox characters. I thought that, I mean, that was just, it's just movie's genius.
Amazing.
And, and like I said, I could easily put this movie number one, and I would have zero issues with it. I
And
actually,
being when it was released, like it really could have gone horribly wrong, that movie. And if they would have done something different other than just in your face,
yeah,
and they didn't, they held nothing back. They didn't
no.
care who they were ripping or anything. It's fantastic. Wow, man, I can't believe.
And honestly, I think it's that
For
good.
shame.
It should have been. It should be in a one of the best pictures because it is one of the best pictures of the year.
I
And I don't
agree.
care that it's a blockbuster movie. It's still the writing is genius. Nobody does what Deadpool does, and
No.
and that should be nominated. So that's my number three. What do you got?
My number three is the best drama that really hits you where it needs to be. The performances are incredible. In fact, Culkin is nominated for supporting actor. It's a real pain. What a
Oh,
phenomenal
I
film.
forgot about that one.
A Real Pain is just and Eisenberg wrote it and directed it and starred in it, and he just knocked it out of the park. And having Kieran Culkin in there
Yeah,
was just the right call, the perfect casting, and one of the best performances I've ever seen.
yeah, that
And
was really
one
good.
of the more emotional films that you could watch. Beautifully written, beautifully shot, beautifully performed. A Real Pain is it's just something amazing about it. It's a
Ah,
fantastic
you
film.
have it high. You have it pretty high.
It's one of the only movies that really kind of just like touched me this year. Like
Yeah,
really,
yeah. I mean, I would honestly, I'd probably put it above Civil War. No, I totally forgot about that one.
A Real
I was
Pain, Deadpool. Yeah, I would get rid of like Harold and the Purple Crayon.
yeah, that's a fair.
Uh,
Uh, yeah,
all right,
uh,
so that's my number three. My number two is even though I think it's the best movie of the year, it's a complete unknown.
yeah,
It, what a performance. I was a Bob Dylan fan growing up in high school when I was in my rebellious phase, and so I knew Bob Dylan's mannerisms, the way he talked, the way he sang, what he stood for, what was going on in the country at the time, and just what he was able to accomplish with a harmonica and a guitar and his words. And he was able to transform a generation. And I thought that what Timothy Chalamet did was as close to near perfect as you can get in terms of not only representing an icon, um, unlike One Love, because what are you going to do with Bob Marley? But he was actually able to look like him, sound like him, sing like him, perform like him, and it was really well done. And I love the angle in which they told the story when it was the Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan sort of relationship from start to finish, and I loved that angle because they could have done it a bunch of different ways. It was still a very linear story.
yeah,
However, I love that that was the angle that they decided to go and knocked it out of the park. I thought it was amazing. So that's my number two.
yeah. A good call. Like I said, even though it's lower on my list, Um, I think it should be higher. My number two, you already mentioned it, and which is Horizon. I went epics on number two and number one, and like I said, I think this, besides maybe Dance with Wolves, this is probably, one of the greatest Western epics ever made. I think it's ambitious what he's trying to do. Um, and he's got an uphill battle, but I'm very curious to continue on the journey and see where it goes. Hopefully, we can get three and four made.
Our
But
number ones are probably the same.
yeah, our number one's most likely the same. But Dune Part Two, I thought it was better than the first one. I thought the story really started to come together, kind of like Horizon, where it's not till the end where you're like, okay, I kind of see where this is going. Like Dune, the first Dune, like I think it's okay, but it's a lot of setup. And then the second one, it really starts coming together and really a fantastic film. And I really
I
got into it.
agree. I agree 100%. Like I remember after watching it and the first one is like, what is going on? Like, what are they doing? There's so much hype around this franchise and I don't get it. It's good, but I don't understand the hype. And then the second one came out and I was floored.
And then I
Uh,
rewatched the first one. And I was like, oh, okay,
I get it now. Yeah, I mean, and then the year of the Chalamet man, and then this guy can do so much. I think he's the new sort of Brad Pitt, where he is a heartthrob, but he's only in movies that are amazing, and he
yeah,
only performs at his top level. Like
yeah.
I
Well,
can't think of
that's Brad
another.
Pitt now. Brad Pitt didn't always have that. There were several movies Brad Pitt did where it was, Meet Joe Black and Seven
But
Years in
even but
Tibet.
even his performance in Meet Joe Black is phenomenal. Like he does
Sure.
really good in I mean he doesn't do stuff just to do stuff just
No,
because
no.
a good looking dude.
Yeah. All
So
right.
yeah, there you go. Dune
That's
2.
both lists. I'm glad we covered a couple different movies that we didn't have. Um, the couple ones that I wanted to put on but left out was the bikers. Uh, I like Roadhouse, In the Land of Saints and Sinners. I thought
I like Back to Black. I thought that was a great biopic as well, but couldn't make it. I thought Inside Out 2 was sneaky amazing for anybody that's got kids. It's just one of these movies that has it appeals to both kids and adults because
yeah,
there's some real themes in there that are pretty powerful. But
yeah,
here you go. All right, let's burn through these
yeah.
Oscar.
So we'll do best picture last, but we'll start with actor in a leading role. So the candidates are for this. We have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph. It should be pronounced Fiennes, but I think he pronounced it Fines. If we go back to our German heritage, Pete, and then Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. So tell me, who do you think is going to win, and who do you want to win?
I think Timothy Chalamet's. I want him to win because he deserves to win. Um, Based on the Golden Globes, I'm sure they're going to give it to Adrian Brody because I mean, The Brutalist was. I mean, it's a good performance. I mean, he's an incredible actor, but I don't think that he transformed himself into somebody else. The way I think he just acted versus, you know, being transformative. The way Timothy Chalamet is. They'll give it to Adrian Brody, but Timothy Chalamet should win it.
I think Chalamet will win. So I'm doing a double up on Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. I do think he'll win, and I think he deserves it. All right, actor in a supporting role. We have Yura Borisov for Nora. We have Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Who do you got?
Which one is this?
Actor in a supporting role?
Oh, we're doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just
That
said it. I could literally just.
no, I know, but we weren't doing that. We were doing actor, actress,
I thought we were
director,
both
best
in the
picture,
supporting
and
roles.
then the writing.
Oh, I thought we were doing supporting roles too.
No,
Sorry.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, how about let's do you want
Uh,
to good?
Kieran Culkin should win it. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should win, and I think he will win both of those. Actress in a leading role. We have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. Who do you think will win and who do you want to win?
They'll probably give it to Carla, Sofia, maybe, but I would give it to Demi Moore. I thought her performance was great, and I think that would be amazing for her to win a Best Actress award. Nobody ever thought that has done anything other than Ghost, where they would be like, "Oh my God, she's an incredible actress." But
Yeah,
like Ghost was
she was great in Ghost. You know
so
what
good.
she's also really good in? I don't know if oh, yeah, I don't think you've seen it yet, but it's The Landman. I mean, I never would have think she could do a play a Texas, Southern Belle, and she's very good in it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would give it to her.
yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think it's either gonna Carla, Mikey Madison, or Demi Moore. I think those three. I could see any one of them winning it. But I think Cynthia Erivo should win it for Wicked. I mean, she's just absolutely incredible, and you hear it everywhere. And I know how hard it is to sing as well for that. So that would be who I want to win. But I'll probably go Demi Moore if I had to put a favorite. I feel like she's going to be like the comeback
It'd be
type of
amazing if she won.
type of role. Yeah, maybe even like an on like how sometimes they give it for like a almost like lifetime
It's like a
achievement.
lifetime achievement. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she might get it for that. So, all right, actress in a supporting role: Monica Barbaro for Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez.
They'll probably give it to Felicity Jones because that was a great performance, but I would want Monica Barbaro to go and win it just because she did a great Joan Baez.
And Top Gun. She was in Top Gun also.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I was thinking the other name would be Zoe Saldana, just because I keep hearing amazing things about Mila Perez. I
I
haven't
really, for
seen it
some
yet.
reason, and I can't even explain it, I don't want Ariana Grande to win this. I mean, come on.
I don't think she will. I don't think she will. But yeah, going for Monica Barbara. Okay. Uh, we'll hop to directing just because it's next on this list here. Um, for best director, we have Sean Baker for Nora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold, A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, and Corley Farjot for The Substance. Who do you
We're
got?
sweeping the Oscars this year. Let's go James Mangold. Let's go.
Yeah, I think
Of those five, there's no. I mean, I would have given it to
Dennis
whoever did.
Villeneuve. Dennis Villeneuve should have been nominated and won it, but James Mangold was my number two, so I'm gonna give it. I think he'll win, and I'm gonna give it to. That's who I want to win.
I hope so.
Okay, and then lastly, we're do writing. Where are we at?
Best adapted screenplay. We have A Complete Unknown
Okay, I'm there now.
by
Uh,
Mangold and Jay Cox.
we have Conclave. We have Amelia Perez,
Good name.
the Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Who do you think will win? Who do you want to win?
They'll give it to Conclave, but A Complete Unknown needs to win.
I'm gonna go screenplay.
Maybe they give it to Nickel Boys. I've heard.
I
I've
think
heard
the
great
Nickel Boy.
things
I think I
about it.
just saw that. I think Nickel Boys might actually win this one. And I know the adaptation. The book won the Pulitzer Prize. The book is very powerful. Um, I'm gonna go that either that or Sing Sing, but I'm gonna go Nickel Boys. I think Nickel Boys will win, and I'm voting for. I want Sing Sing to win.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be mad if Nickel Boys wins it. It's a interesting movie, very interesting movie. Okay, writing original screenplay: Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance. I feel like I know where you're going with this one, but
I mean, I want A Real Pain to win because I think it's amazingly written. Knowing the Academy, they'll probably give it to The Brutalist or September 5. They'll probably give it to The Brutalist, but Eisenberg deserves the Oscar this year. Best written movie.
Yeah, I
Hands
agree with
down.
you. I think The Brutalist will win it. But I'm rooting for either September 5th or Real Pain.
And
I would
The Brutalist was fine. I mean, it was a good movie, but I mean, it's
it's
get
long. Three and a half
so
hours. Come on.
so hyped up, and they could have edited that movie down to 90 minutes
Yeah, right.
easily.
Okay, and for the grand finale of them all, Best Picture, we have Anora, we have The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked.
I mean, listen to that list. It's crazy that none of these movies barely are in our top 10.
Yeah,
No Harold on the Purple Crayon
I
love
know.
or nothing. I mean, come
Bad
on.
Boys 4, how's Bad Boys 4 not on this list?
I mean, no Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool is the only one I would
It,
legitimately say that needs to be on this list
oh,
because
absolutely.
if you're gonna do 10, it's got to at least get some love.
Like,
Either
I'm
way,
Still Here. I've not even heard of that movie.
even though Dune 2 is my favorite or my favorite movie of the year, A Complete Unknown is the best movie this year. They'll
Yeah.
give it to Conclave. I know they're going to give it to Conclave. It's like,
So you think Conclave
and
is gonna
again, don't get me wrong. Conclave was a good movie. It's just not as good as an Oscar movie. Like, it's just not. I don't
Yeah, I agree.
think
It's
it's
good. It's a good movie. I think Conclave's a good movie. I don't think it's a
very good. Performances are very good.
yeah, I don't think it's a great movie. So to make sure I have it correctly, you think Conclave will win, you're going for a complete unknown?
Yes.
Okay. I
They're going to be,
think
it's just, they're just going to do something silly.
I actually think the Nickel Boys might win it. Um, I could see Nickel Boys winning it. Um, but I would say I think what I want is Dune Part Two. What I think should win is a complete unknown. So I know I'm kind of splitting that, but I normally don't have that kind of a
Basically, just read off all
I
10
know.
nominees. Well, it could be this and this, or maybe this, but I think this is, but I really want this.
I think Dune Part Two should win it. Like
It's so good.
meaning it earned the most money. It's an epic. It's well crafted, all the nine. I think that is the best picture of the year, clearly. I think A Complete Unknown is your traditional best picture, like what I think they normally would vote for. However, I think because I feel like we're going back small again a little bit. I
Yeah.
feel like Nickel Boys is going to be the one that actually takes the hardware. So
Conclave is like this year's Shakespeare in Love, where they just give it to a
yeah,
movie
maybe.
that five people saw, and all of a sudden it's the best movie of the year.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, dude, half this list was all these were in theater for like 2 weeks, dude. I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't been able to see most of these yet because of the limited times like they play. Like I'm going through the list of these, but it's like half of these aren't even available. It's terrible.
Yeah, literally half I've not
One,
seen.
two, three, four, five. I've seen
The
five.
Fall Brutalist, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune,
Yeah, that's
and,
the other problem.
and the
I
subs.
don't have 4 hours of my life to go watch The Brutalist. I want to go see it. I don't have 4 hours, dude.
If it was on like a Netflix or something, you could play it at like 1.5 speed and get through it in like an hour and a half.
It would be awesome if it was on streaming because yeah, I can also watch it an hour a day for 4 days instead
Right.
of like blocking out half a day. That's like a whole work
Like,
shift.
all right, time for part two of
Yeah.
Brutalist. This is brutal.
Like
The Brutal
I was
is
thinking about seeing
watching
it
the movie.
I was thinking about seeing it today and it's like I'm not, if I go see it at 6, I'm not gonna be out till like 10 o'clock. Like what?
Yeah. The Brutalist plus previews
Yeah.
and
It's
travel time.
I'm saying it's like 4 hours. It's terrible. All right.
Brutal.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up, guys. We'll do a review show and talk about a review show when it happens. Did they postpone it because of the fires, or are they still going?
Say again?
The Oscars, have they been postponed, or are they still same?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay. So we'll assume it's still going. Stay tuned for our next episode after that. We're going to be reviewing some of these that we haven't seen yet. Amelia Perez, I want to see by then. Hopefully, Substance, Honora. I'm trying to knock off all these. We'll review Flight Risk as well. What was the other one? Oh, the new Will Ferrell comedy with Reese Witherspoon on Amazon Prime. We'll also review that. Back in Action with Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx. So next episode will be pretty thick. So yeah, please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, help us grow, give you more content. Thanks, guys. And that is a cut.